Hey guys, today we're talking about the Graco handhelds. There are two different types of handhelds. You have the corded and the battery operated, and then within the battery operated you have two style. You have the Ultimate or Ultra, depending on where you buy it, and then you have the Ultimate or Ultra MX. The Ultra and Ultimate are for water-based and oil-based products that are not flammable. They are combustible only. So yes, there are non-flammable oil-based products that you can buy at the store. The MX is meant for flammable. So this setup is for flammable. All right. So the number one problem I see with these handhelds is people fail to read page roughly 15 in their manual, depending on what language it's written in. And page 15 is going to tell you what tip size to use with this machine. All right. So, short story, water-based products, latex, acrylic, however you want to call it, emulsions, they are heavier or larger molecules than oil-based products. So this machine will run from an 08 to a 16 tip. Your manual, page 15, is going to tell you on your thin materials, stains, urethanes, things of that nature, you can use down to an 08. Your oil bases for your primers and top coats, you're going to be roughly in a 10 to 12, and your water-based products are going to be roughly a 14 to a 16. Do not go smaller than a 14, because what happens, you're trying to force that paint, the water-based paint, through the larger molecules through a smaller orifice, and it creates a problem with the pump. The pump itself cannot handle that kind of pressure. Back pressure is what it is. It can't get it out of the tip fast enough, so you create a lot of back pressure. And in this case, this pump right here, you can see this one, you don't see it. This one, you see it. You see that seal right there? It'll blow out of the back side of this pump, and it's damaged inside of this chamber here. You can't just press it back in and put it back together and it's going to work. It's not going to work. When that occurs, it's done. It's toast. You're going to replace the whole fluid section. Now, I've been doing this for a long time, roughly 30 years now, but ever since the day one that these came out, I've been working on them. And, Lord, in about 4 years, 3 to 4 years, I've probably repaired in excess of 60 of these. And I have never had to replace the needle set up here. I've never had to replace the prime valve. I've never had to replace the ball valves in here, here, or here, because they just don't wear out. These don't last long enough to wear them out. What's going to wear out is what's inside here and what you saw blown out on the back side here. Okay? This is where the packings, if you will, this is the packings. These are going to wear out. And when you try to use a tip too small, as you saw here, it'll blow the packings out of the backside, and then you got to replace this. What'll also happen is these guns are only meant for about 20 gallons. After about 20 gallons, you're starting to live on a prayer at that point. And when they do wear out, you can't pick anything up anymore. You're just not getting anything out of the tip. You just got to replace this whole thing. There's no repacking it. You could replace these, but it's going to do absolutely nothing to help you. You got to replace the entire thing. And on the standard Ultimate or Ultra, it's about $250 to $280 for this, plus labor if you pay for the labor. The MX is more expensive because it can handle flammables. Now, if you notice on this tab, it says, do not rotate gear. Remove this guard after installing. Because if you take that off and you twist this gear, there's a good chance, because all of this is plastic except for the shaft, you can shatter this, or the third one by rotating this gear housing, because I'm gonna show you here in a minute when it's done, because this one's bad. Because of the way that gear is set up, it's not parallel to the pump. You can see here it's at an angle. Now, to replace this, you pull the screw loose on the prime valve handle. You take the screws out on the body, pull the body off, and this is what you get. Now, when you're ready to take it off, now the MX, which is what this is, you see this green wire? It's screwed to the back of this housing. On this one, it is not. There's nothing there to screw it to. But you see that square block? That's mounted on the back of this. That allows it to ground, so it's less likely to catch fire and turn into a handheld flamethrower. So on the MX, you'll remove the screw here as well. But you're just going to take this unit, you're going to grab it, and it'll pull right out of here. I'm not going to pull this one out because it doesn't need to come out, but it'll come right out. The motor may lift up, not a big deal. Just push it back into place. It lines right up with the gears here. Then the new one, you're going to bring it over here with the yellow still on it, and it'll set right down into that body, and this gear will mesh with that gear on the motor. When you got it in place, hold it down with your hand and pull this off. It'll just pop right off like that. At that point, the gear is stable enough against the motor and the body to not damage it. You're not going to be able to rotate it either because it's against the motor. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to rotate this thing for you so you can see what you got here. You can see that yoke swivel. So when you try to do this by hand, when it's tight, when it's good, in good condition, this is a lot harder to turn. And these black connectors here will snap because you're putting it at pressure at an odd angle, and it's not meant to be that way. But you see, this is how it works. These three, two on this side, one on the far side, they rotate back and forth, taking turns, moving the material through the pump. Now, once you've got this back in place, and in this one, the screw tightened back up for the green, you put the body back on, you tighten your screws, put your prime valve switch back on and tighten it up, and you're good to go. Again, most important page, what I consider the most important page for the operator in the manual is page 15. Pay attention to the tip sizes, or else you will be spending several $100s fixing a machine that you broke because you failed to read the manual. If you got any questions or comments or whatever, just give me drop me a comment here in the comment section. I'll see what I can do to help you out. I do appreciate it. You guys be safe. We'll talk to you later.